Please activate the subtitles.
This video is going to be very special because today is the first episode of a series of videos named The Challenge.
The Challenge? What is it going to be about?
The Challenge is a series of videos that will help you achieve fluency.
Fluency? That's what I want. Explain everything to me, Roger.
Yes, I will explain everything, but before we start, remember that if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be given access to the PDF files with extra exercises and homework based on my videos, so please subscribe. And if you subscribe to the channel, you have some special benefits, such as you'll be given access to our group on Telegram, so you'll be able to have direct contact with me on Telegram. So please subscribe. Let's get started. So this is the first episode of a series of videos called The Challenge. I'm going to explain what it's all about in two different parts. The first part, I'm just going to tell you what you need to do and the rules for the challenge. And in the second part of my explanation, I'm going to tell you why these things that you're going to do will help you achieve fluency. Let's go to the first part and I'll explain what you need to do. Just choose one topic of conversation. It could be about anything. It could be about religion, sport, relationship, technology, abortion, feelings, politics, food, aliens. It could be about anything. And then you have to speak about it for 1 minute non-stop. So you have to talk about one specific topic for 1 minute non-stop. You can't stop speaking for at least 1 minute. In the comment section, I'm going to leave a comment, my own comment with many different topics, and then you can choose one of them to start. I'm going to pin my own comment and then you choose one of the topics and I'm going to leave that. So please take a look in the comment section down below. But there is a rule for that. There are two rules. The first rule is that you can't stop speaking for 1 minute. Okay, so you have to speak for 1 minute. And the second rule is do it by yourself. Never do it in front of anybody because I don't want you to have any kind of restrictions. You need to feel free in order to say whatever you want to say. You can go crazy and say stupid things or radical things or whatever you want to say. Because here is the moment for you to develop your creativity and your fluency. So, there are two rules. Speak for 1 minute non-stop. And do that by yourself.
Okay, now I know what I need to do. And how is it going to help me improve my English and achieve fluency, Roger?
There are many positive things you can get from this exercise. And I have to tell you that this is one of the things I do when I study a different language. I do this and it works.
Yes, I believe you, Roger. You speak so many languages so perfectly. I have to believe your techniques.
So I'm going to tell you the positive things you can get from doing this exercise. The first positive thing you can get from doing this exercise is that your brain will be forced to help you speak for 1 minute non-stop. So your brain will try to find strategies and try to find solutions for you to keep speaking. Therefore, you start thinking faster. And it's important to think fast when you speak English. When you're having a conversation with another person, you need to think fast. So when somebody says something, you need to reply to that thing really quickly. And if you do this exercise, you're going to be practicing. You're going to be developing your brain in order to think fast in English. Another thing is that this exercise will help you develop your creativity. So your brain will develop creativity, and you need to be creative in order to avoid letting the conversation die, the monologue die. Well, it could be a conversation because you're going to be talking to yourself, you know. I do that all the time. One thing that you need to bear in mind is that you shouldn't worry about grammar. For the challenge, you shouldn't worry about grammar. So if you make a mistake, don't stop. Just keep speaking, okay? There are different exercises for accuracy and for grammar. And it's not this one. This one is for you to practice communication and creativity and thinking fast. So if you make a mistake, don't worry about that. Mistakes are welcome now. You can learn from your mistakes. Again, I have to say that you should go crazy. So when you're talking about a specific topic, please go crazy. So don't hold yourself back.
No, Roger. I never hold myself back.
All right. If you are a student from the pre-intermediate level up to the advanced level, I guarantee that you can speak for 1 minute non-stop about anything, even if you're not familiar with the topic. If you practice with this exercise for 30 days in a row, I'm sure that this will build up your confidence, and when you have to talk to a different person, you're going to think fast, you're going to You're going to be creative to keep talking to this person because you're going to be confident and comfortable to have a conversation.
Roger, can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead. What's your question?
I think it's a little bit complicated because, for example, what if I choose to talk about, I don't know, technology for 1 minute? I don't know anything about technology, so I'm going to speak for 15 seconds and then I won't know what to say, and then I'm going to have to stop.
That's a good question because there are some strategies that you can use in order to talk about something that you're not familiar with. For example, in your situation, you just told me that you don't know anything about technology. So you have to think about something, as you're speaking, you have to think about something that is related to technology, that is closer to your world, you know. For example, in your situation, I know that you have a cell phone, so cell phones are related to technology. So you could start it by saying, okay, I don't know anything about technology and I have to speak about it for 1 minute. But I do have a cell phone and I use it all the time. The only thing I know about technology is my cell phone. I use it to chat with my friends on WhatsApp. I use it to take pictures, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you can speak for 1 minute non-stop about your cell phone, okay? Not about technology, because you're bringing the topic to your universe.
Oh, yeah. It's easy for me to talk about my cell phone. It's true, I use it to chat with my friends on WhatsApp. I use it to check my messages on Facebook. Sometimes I watch some videos on X videos. It's funny because when I watch these videos, I take some toilet paper and then I look at your picture and then...
No, man, stop it. That's why you need to be by yourself, because then you can go crazy and talk about whatever you want without any restrictions. So it's okay, you can talk about these things, but by yourself. Yes, as I said before, if you're a student from the pre-intermediate level of English up to the advanced level, you can do this. You can speak for 1 minute about whatever topic, even when you're not familiar with the topic.
Can you give us an example? Can you do that for us?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. I've asked my girlfriend to write some topics on slips of paper, on pieces of paper, and she has put them here. Look, there are more than 30 different topics here for me to choose from. I'm just gonna pick up one piece of paper and then I'm gonna talk about this topic. It could be about anything. Okay, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm going to pick one piece of paper here at random, randomly. So this is the topic. Let's see. So I need to speak for 1 minute non-stop about fear. Fear. Yeah, this is a very challenging topic for me. This is really a challenge because I've never really had a talk about fear before. I don't remember having a conversation about it before. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit complicated for me to talk about it because I don't have any experience talking about it before. But it's very good because then you can see how I use my strategies to keep myself talking for 1 minute about something that I'm not familiar with. I'm not familiar with fear, right? I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of anything, right? I'm not afraid because, okay, let's get started. Okay, so I need to talk about fear for 1 minute and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not really experienced with fear because I'm not afraid of anything. I'm a true Superman. But I need to keep talking about fear for 1 minute, so I need to be really creative. Well, I remember that last week I watched a video on YouTube in which Will Smith was talking about his experience with fear. And he was saying that once he went to the pub with his friends in Australia and they were drinking and having fun. They were talking about stuff and drinking more and more. And they were very excited about life, And then one of his friends said, "Oh, let's go skydiving tomorrow." And then Will Smith said, "Oh, let's go skydiving tomorrow." And everybody was shouting, "Let's go skydiving tomorrow." And that's okay. Then he went back to his house at midnight. And then when he placed his head on the pillow, suddenly he opened his eyes like this. And he remembered that he was afraid of heights. From that moment on, he couldn't sleep anymore. He was tossing and turning in his bed. And he couldn't sleep a second because he was afraid of dying. Fear was whispering in his ear, "Oh man, you're gonna die. If you go skydiving, you're going to die." But he was hopeful that everybody would forget about that the following morning because, everybody was so drunk and wasted, But when it was morning, somebody knocked on his door. He opened the door and it was his friends. And they were like, yeah, let's go skydiving. It's time to go skydiving. And then he said, just a second. And then he closed the door. And for 1 minute, he had a panic attack. His heart started racing and he started sweating like a pig because he was really afraid to die, and fear was whispering in his ear, you're going to die today, man. Will Smith, it's your last day on Earth. But then he opened the door and said, let's go skydiving, because he's a man, you know, and men can't express that they have fear, you know. Well, I'm not afraid of anything, you know, but I'm different. Everybody is afraid of something, but men can express that. And then he just went with his friends to the plane. When they got to the plane, he was introduced to the instructor, because when you go skydiving for the first time, you need to attach yourself to an instructor, and you need to jump off the plane with this guy because he's gonna help you around. And then the plane took off. They were flying very high, and then the instructor said, in 1 minute, I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna count up to 3, and then we're gonna jump off together. And then Will Smith started, you know, having another panic attack because he was really afraid of heights. But he didn't say anything because, you know, he couldn't express his fear in front of his friends. But fear was saying, you're going to die today, Will Smith. This is your last day on Earth. And he couldn't say anything. He was really just frozen. He was frozen. And the instructor opened the door, and then he counted 1, and fear was saying, you're gonna die. The instructor said 2, and fear was saying, you're gonna die today. And then the instructor didn't say 3. He just jumped off with Will Smith with him. And then he was diving, he was skydiving, he was falling. And at this moment that he was falling, he opened his eyes and he saw a beautiful landscape. And then he had no fear at all, you know. He was just looking at that landscape and thinking, my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And this is the best moment I've ever experienced in my life. And then he started crying because he felt so powerful. He was flying. He was feeling, man, I'm flying. This is so beautiful. And then it was the best moment of his life. When he landed, he thought to himself, why was I afraid last night? Why didn't I sleep? Why was I so worried? It was the best thing that has ever happened to me in my life. And then he realized that at the moment of maximum fear, this is right the moment of maximum happiness. So fear is really close to happiness. And fear is a liar. You know, fear is always lying to you, saying that you can't do this, you can't do that, you're gonna die if you do this. But it's a lie. And behind this fear, you might find true happiness in the best moments of your life. And I was thinking about that. And since this is a language channel, sometimes you might be afraid of not being able to learn. You know, fear might be whispering in your ear, like, you're not gonna learn. You know, this is really complicated. You will never speak English perfectly. But take my word and listen to me. This is just fear lying to you. Don't listen to fear, okay? Remember, at the moment of maximum fear, you can find true happiness. Yeah, so you shouldn't be afraid of anything. Well, I believe that it's been more than 1 minute, so I can stop speaking, right? How long has it been? Wow, over 6 minutes. All right, but you know, you don't need to speak. You don't need to speak for such a long time, okay? You just have to speak for 1 minute at least. But if you feel confident, you can keep talking, okay? No problem. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, like our page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Remember that I'm posting videos on Instagram throughout the week, so you can have contact with English and with me all the time. Join our group on Telegram and you can have direct contact with me too, so you just need to subscribe. I'll bring more videos about this challenge throughout the week. Please check in the comment section here down below, because I'm going to leave many different topics for conversation. And the challenge is, now I'm going to tell you what the challenge is. The challenge is that you do that for 30 days in a row. Okay, so you choose one topic and you talk about it for 1 minute by yourself, speak about it for 1 minute by yourself every day for 30 days in a row. And then you tell me your results. So this is one of my special techniques. I hope you've enjoyed it. Share this video with your friends, and thank you very much.